They came from the sea, not as merchants, not as pilgrims, but as stormbringers, iron in hand, fire in their eyes. On the banks of the Guadalquivir, the people of Ishbilia would learn the fury of the north and the price of survival. In the year of 844, the sun, blazing and indifferent, scorched the lands of Al-Andalus. Ishbilia, the southern gem of the Umayyad Emirate, thrived. Its whitewashed walls shimmered beneath the Andalusian sun, and its bustling souks filled with merchants from Africa, Byzantium, and the distant east. The call to prayer echoed across the rooftops, mingling with the songs of traders and artisans. Yet even as the city basked in the calm of prosperity, an ill wind blew. Far to the north, where the skies were grey and the seas cold, the warriors of Scandinavia, Vikings, Northmen, sea kings, whispered of a land soft and rich. Tales reached their longhouses of gold-laden cities, guarded by men grown weak in comfort. Among them was Björn the Red, a warlord whose sagas would one day be carved on runestones. Björn was not content with raiding the English or Frankish coasts. He sought a prize greater than silver and slaves. He sought glory. When he gathered his jarls beneath the dark timbers of his great hall, he spoke of Ishbilia. We will take it, not just raid, not just burn. We will make the Southmen kneel. With 54 dragon-prowed longships, Björn set sail. His men, hardened by winters and wars, rode with a fervour born of greed and ambition. They swept down the Atlantic coast of Iberia, raiding Galician villages and seizing supplies. Yet their true prize lay inland. The Vikings had learned that the Guadalquivir, wide and navigable, ran like an artery into the very heart of Al-Andalus. It was a road few enemies had dared to tread. To Björn and his men, it was an invitation. They sailed past small fortresses and watchtowers, leaving smouldering villages behind them. The river, lined with orchards and olive groves, narrowed as they approached the walls of Ishbilia. On the morning of September 25th, they were there. The guards on the walls stared in disbelief. Never before had such ships been seen so far inland. Messages were sent by riders to Cordoba, but even the fastest horse could not outrun the longships. The people of Ishbilia tried to prepare. The Qadi organised what little defence he could muster. Farmers and merchants took up blades. Yet they faced warriors bred for war. On the 1st or 3rd of October, the Vikings stormed the city. With axes and swords they overwhelmed the gates. They scaled walls, shattered doors, and turned the peaceful streets into rivers of blood. Flames engulfed homes, mosques and markets alike. The great minaret, towering over the city, became a perch for Björn himself as he watched Ishbilia burn. "Bring me their gold and their god," he is said to have bellowed. The people scattered. Some fled to the countryside. Others fought and died. The Vikings showed no mercy. News reached Cordoba swiftly. Emir Abd ar-Rahman II, ruler of Al-Andalus, did not hesitate. Unlike the kings of Francia who often bickered and delayed, Abd ar-Rahman knew the stakes. He summoned Isa ibn Shuhayd, his Hajib. Isa was a man of discipline, known for his intelligence more than his sword, but he understood the weight of this task. Ishbilia bleeds. Ride. Isa gathered men from across the emirate. From Malaga to Toledo, cavalry and archers answered the call. The emir's navy, though small, was ordered to harass the Vikings along the river. The Vikings, sensing that the countryside would soon turn against them, fortified their position. They turned Ishbilia's walls into their own stronghold. They cared not for the city's beauty. They stripped it bare. Isa ibn Shuhayd's army arrived by early November. Skirmishes erupted along the banks of the Guadalquivir. Norse shield walls clashed with Andalusian cavalry. Archers on both sides darkened the skies. Isa's scouts reported that the Vikings were fierce but lacked discipline. Isa, ever the strategist, planned to bleed them slowly. For days the fighting raged. On the 11th or 17th of November, Isa launched his full assault. He split his forces, sending cavalry to encircle the city, while infantry attacked directly. The Vikings stood their ground. Bjorn the Red, clad in chainmail, fought atop the city's walls. Wielding an axe said to be the size of a man, Isa, calm in the storm, directed his archers to ignite Viking ships moored along the river. Flames devoured the longships, and the Vikings' escape route vanished. Cornered, they fought with savage desperation, but Isa's tactics and numbers turned the tide. By nightfall, the city was retaken. The cost was immense. Ishbilia stood, but its markets were ashes. Thousands lay dead. Yet the Vikings were routed. Bjorn and a few survivors fled downriver, but they left behind hundreds of dead and captured. The Andalusians executed many, though some were spared to spread word of the emir's strength. Isa, standing amidst the ruins, wept. Victory is ash in the mouth when bought with so much blood. Emir Abd ar-Rahman II did not rest on this victory. He ordered the strengthening of coastal defences, built a powerful navy, and fortified rivers. Watchtowers rose along every inlet. The Vikings never returned. Historians, including Hugh Kennedy and Neil Price, note that while the Carolingians and Anglo-Saxons struggled against Viking invasions for generations, Al-Andalus met its storm and survived. And so, the story of Ishbilia became more than just a tale of horror. It became a testament to resilience. Today, beneath the streets of Seville, remnants of that siege lie buried, and sometimes, when the river is quiet and the night is dark, some say you can still hear the clash of sword and shield, the crackle of burning wood, and the fading echo of Viking war horns. The Northmen came, the South endured,